Good morning. I am Lavanya, working as Associate Professor, Department of ECE from Ramchandra College of Engineering, Eluru. Today we are going to discuss about basic technique of A to D converter and dual slope A to D converter from Linear IC Applications course. Now first we are going to see introduction to A to D converter. So here we have shown the PIC ADC0808 A to D converter, which is a monolithic form of analog to digital converter, and it is an 8-bit converter. So, what is this ADC? ADC process involves, that is analog to digital conversion process. That means here it is necessary to convert analog signals into the digital signals, because all the systems have been digitalized nowadays. We have to convert analog signals to the digital signals. So in order to convert such signals, we are going for a process like, first we are applying analog input to the sample and hold circuit, where this sample and hold circuit will convert the analog signals into equivalent samples, and the samples will be holded for some time, and this holded signals will be quantized by passing that signals to the quantizer. So in quantizer, the amplitude, the based on the amplitude levels of these samples, it is converted into the discrete values of the signals. So the output of quantizer will be in terms of discrete in nature. So here it will be in terms of discrete. So if we will see the chart here. The analog input will be a sinusoidal input, which is continuous in nature. It can be anything which is continuous in nature. So after passing through this sample and hold circuit, the output of the circuit will be in terms of samples like this. So we will be having samples with some reference. So this samples is passed through the quantizer to convert these samples or discrete analog signals into the discrete digital signals. So from this, the output will be appear like this, which will be in terms of digital form. That is, it is not alternating. Here, if you see, the discrete will be in terms of alternative signals, but here it is converted into one direction. Now this discrete signals will be passed to a encoder, which converts this discrete amplitudes into a binary value. So now this digital output will be in terms of zeros and ones like this. So this is the process involved in the analog to digital conversion. Next, we will see what is the basic A to D converter that has been used. So here we have A to D converter block. It is represented with a single block, and the input to this A to D converter will be an analog input voltage or current. It can be either voltage or current, which is denoted as VA, and we have reference voltage VR. So with respect to this reference voltage, this analog input signal can be converted into the digital output. But in addition to this, here we have two control signals, start and EOC. So what is the function of this start? So even if we are applying this analog input voltage to the input pin, unless we give the start signal, just it acts as a control pulse or clock pulse. So whenever we are applying this start signal, then it starts the conversion process in the A to D converter. After conversion is completed, then it will release an output signal, that is end of conversion. So after releasing end of conversion signal through this pin, then we will collect the digital output from this output terminals of the A to D converter. This we have shown in terms of words. See, it accepts analog input voltage VA, so which is continuous in nature, and it produces output binary word in terms of D1, D2, D3 and so on till Dn, which is a functional value D. So we are considering this to be D. Now output value can be calculated. That is, D can be calculated as D1 by 2 power 1, D2 by 2 power 2, and so on. So this D1 will be the MSB, and this Dn will be the LSB. So here it is shown generalized circuit of A to D converter. And here we have two additional signals called start and EOC. So EOC represents end of conversion and start represents the starting signal, which acts as a clock input, just like a clock input. So it tells that ADC when to start the conversion process, whereas EOC tells the conversion process is completed. So EOC is an output signal, whereas start is an input signal. So which is represented in terms of arrow marks. Next, these ADCs can be used for designing microprocessor interfacing or directly to drive the LCDs or LED displays. These two we can consider that as applications of this A to D converters. Next, we will see the transfer characteristics of A to D converter. So transfer characteristics is run in between analog input voltage and the digital output voltage. So which is taken on x-axis and y-axis respectively. So here you will be getting, this is an ideal in output, what you are getting is a linear, but we have seen that practical output will be in terms of a state step like this. It will be same as a D to A converter's transfer characteristics, but the values are somewhat different. So here the picture is shown for 3-bit A to D converter. So where it starts from 0000 to 111, and here we have analog input voltage ranges, that is 1 by 8, 2 by 8, 3 by 8, and so on. And here you will be getting the corresponding digital outputs at this y-axis. So here the bit length, that means the distance between each step will be equal to 1 LSB value. So that is what we have explained in this. Next we go for A to D conversion techniques. So as we have discussed in the basic introduction of this topic, we have ADC are broadly classified into two types according to their conversion techniques. First one is direct type, whereas second one is integrating type. So the direct type means this type of DTA converters will compare a given analog signal with the internally generated equivalent signal. So it compares the within the conversion process itself, and it directly generates the output in terms of digital process, that means digital data. Hence it is called as a direct type A to D converters. So this direct type A to D converters is further divided into parallel comparator or flash type A to D converter, next counter type A to D converter, tracking or servo type A to D converter, and successive approximation type A to D converter. So among the four, according to our syllabus, we are not going to see what is tracking or servo type A to D converter, and this successive approximation type A to D converter is an important among all the four types of direct type A to D converters. Next we have integrating type A to D converter. So integrating type means this type of A to D converters will perform conversion in an indirect manner. That means first it will change the analog input signal to a linear function of either time or frequency, and then to a digital code. So it is not doing the process, that is analog to digital conversion process is not done directly. So it is first converting in terms of a function of time or linear function of either time or frequency, and then it is converted into the digital output. Hence it is called as indirect or integrating type of A to D converters. Here we have two types of integrating type A to D converters. First one is dual slope, second one is charge balancing type A to D converter. So according to our syllabus, we are going to learn about dual slope A to D converter in this presentation. And charge balancing type is not much required for us. Next, we will see dual slope A to D converter. So here, as the name itself indicates that dual slope A to D conversion process. So in this A to D conversion process, the output is obtained by showing two slopes. So first linear slope indicates one conversion and second linear slope indicates the next conversion. So as we have mentioned that it is an indirect type A to D converter. So by using two process, it will convert analog signal to the digital signal. So here we will see. If an A to D conversion process performs the analog to digital conversion by an indirect method, then it is called as indirect type A to D converter. So first it converts analog input into the linear function of time or frequency, and then it will produce the digital binary output. So here in this we will be having the slopes like this. So first duration that is taken in between here between 0 to t1. Here we are showing one linear slope which will convert one process to the other process. So here the output or the slope will be in terms of minus Vi by R1 into or Rf into C1. So here the slope depends upon the input voltage, whereas the other slope which produces the output signal have another slope that is in terms or which depends upon the reference voltage. The first slope depends upon the input voltage, whereas second slope depends upon the reference voltage. So by combining these two, you will be getting the A to D conversion process. Hence the name dual slope A to D converter. So here we have the circuit diagram for dual slope A to D converter. So which consists of a switch. So it can be represented as a one switch where the switch is connected to two. One is analog input and other one is reference voltage. So this switch switches in between these two voltage levels. One is analog input voltage and the other one is reference voltage. Now this switch is connected to integrator. The first block is integrator circuit. The combination of R1 and C1 will produce the integrating operation. And output of this integrator is applied to the one of the input of the comparator, whereas this input is compared with the ground, as non-inverting terminal is connected directly to the ground. Here we are considering ground signal to be the reference voltage for comparing this output voltage from the integrator. So depending upon that, it will produce the output signal. So this output from comparator will be applied as a gate input. Applied as a one of the input to the AND gate. So whenever we are applying clock signal to the gate, then it's here you will be having 1, and if it is produced, 1 will be equal to 1. Otherwise, if clock signal is equal to 0, then gate output will also be equal to 0, and binary counter will not count. So here the binary counter is used for counting operation. So once binary counter stops counting, then those count will be produced at the output latch. So from this latch, we are collecting the final digital output. So this is the process or the blocks that is involved in the dual slope A to D converter. First, we will see the operation of the circuit. So first, we will go back to the circuit once again. So first, initially, the switch will be connected to the input voltage. So whenever it is connected to the input voltage, analog voltage will be applied to the integrator. Now, this circuit will convert the circuit will convert this applied input voltage in terms of ramp signal. So this ramp signal is compared or it is applied to the comparator circuit. Now this comparator circuit will compare this ramp signal with respect to the ground level. So the slope of the circuit is considered to be, that is V0 is equal to, here you will be having Vi by R1 C1. Now since it is connected to the negative input of amplifier, you will be having minus Vi. So as Vi increases, this V0 also proportionally increases, but in a negative direction. So here it will keep on increasing as Vi is increasing. So it will reach us till 0. That means, so here we are comparing this output of integrator with respect to the ground signal. So here it is showing one input to be equal to 0. So as it is keep on reducing, that is negatively decreasing, at particular time it will be equal to 0 value. So whenever if both the signals are equal to 0, then it will generate 0 output. Then the gate will stop counting operation. So AND gate will produce output to be equal to 0. Then binary counter stops counting the number of clock pulses that has been applied, and it will produce us the output, the desired output at the output latch. So it completes half of the circuit, that is the negative ramp signal is showing the half of the circuit. Now at t equal to 0, the first output can be considered to be, here we have output voltage, or we can represent like this. So V0 is equal to minus Vi by R1 into C1. This is one part. Next, we are switching this switch to here minus reference voltage. So this minus reference voltage represents the another voltage that is applied to this integrator circuit. So here we are applying negative voltage. So the output of this integrator is a negative. So negative will get cancelled, and output will be equal to V0 equal to VR by R1 C1. As R1 C1 is a constant, now output voltage increases with respect to the reference voltage in a positive direction. So from this value, as reference voltage is increasing, this output voltage will keep on increasing till it reaches to the 0 again. As it is increasing from negative direction till it reaches to 0, then it will keep on increasing, and if this voltage will be equal to 0, that means whenever it is keep on increasing and it reaches to 0, then again this comparator will produce 0 signal, which keeps the gate output to be equal to 0. Then it starts the binary counter, then it stops the binary counting operation, and this final count will be applied to the output latch. This final output will be considered as a digital output for this given analog input voltage. This is the process that has been involved in this circuit. So here the actual conversion of analog voltage Vin into digital count occurs during D2. The control circuit converts the clock to the counter at the beginning of T2. So here we will show that in terms of this waveform. So initially, first the clock pulses has been applied continuously, and it will be always equal to 1. Next, we are applying the integrator control waveform. So here, first T1 we are applying, during this T1 you are applying negative voltage. That means the integrator will have minus Vi by R1 C1. So if we consider R1 C1 to be constant, it is proportional to minus VA. So we are showing it with a negative level. That is, this level is nothing but a minus VA. So after completion of this T1 period, this will goes to the positive level, which is nothing but plus VR. So at this level, integrator will be keep on producing the same output voltage, that is positive voltage, till the completion of this T2. So this interval is T2. Now, how this dual slope ramp from the integrator is produced? So here initially it will be equal to 0. Now it is keep on decreasing as a negative input voltage is applied. So here it is keep on decreasing till it reaches to 0 till T1. Then it stops conversion, and after that it compares with the reference voltage, that is plus VR. So from here it starts increasing. So after completion of this time duration, then it stops converting and it remains in that value. So this will be the final digital output that is produced during this T2 duration. So that we have shown in terms of equations here. So what are the advantages and disadvantages and applications of this A to D converters? So here dual slope A to D converter is highly accurate. It is very accurate to give the results, but cost of the circuit is low. This is an advantage, and it is immune to the temperature. So it will not affect the temperature changes that is occurred in the circuit. But the main drawback of this circuit or this type of A to D converter is it is very slow in process. The processing speed will be very low. As it is taking indirect method, so the process to convert analog signals to the digital will be happen very slowly. An application of this DTA converter is suitable for accurate measurement of slowly varying signals such as thermocouples, weighing scales, etc., where the speed of operation is not the prime requirement. These are the applications of dual slope A to D converter. These are the expected questions from this topic. That is, explain in detail about the dual slope A to D converter. So here we can expect only two questions. First thing is the dual slope A to D converter will be asked for direct 7 marks question, where we have to draw the circuit diagram as well as the waveform, output waveform of the circuit, where it shows the dual slopes of the A to D conversion process, and we have to explain them neatly. Here first we have to draw the circuit diagram and a waveform very neatly. Next we have to explain the operation in terms of two cases. First case is when the switch is connected to VI, and the second case is we can consider that when switch is connected to the V reference. So how these two slopes has been formed. If you explain it, it is enough. Next we can expect a small short answer question from this. That is, what are the advantages and disadvantages of dual slope A to D converter for 4 marks, or you can expect applications also for 2 marks. So these are the questions that we can expect from this topics. Thank you.